Hey everybody, I'm going to just walk you through a basic morning setup for the Nord Electro 5. So we have the power button back here. Get started up, power it on, and everything should be ready to go. Plug in your ears over here, in-ears. And to start with, you're going to be looking at the program screen, and you may or may not see a light right here on set list. Most of the time you probably will see that set list light on like this. Well, we're going to start with a set list light off and talk about the functions of the Nord before we get to playing ready to go. So the Nord has a bank of sounds that have been created using its different functions. As you can see, as I scroll through, you're seeing the lights bounce on and off to the right and the left, which show you what the songs are created from, the ingredients of the songs. Piano organ is piano and organ. I don't use that sound, but if you were to push keyboard split, then you're going to have whatever's on the right at the top and whatever's on the left on the bottom. Because its organ is lit up down here. Piano. Oh, that's kind of low, so I'm going to push the octave shift button. Now it's a higher piano. Oh, maybe I want the sounds mixed, so I turn off keyboard split, and now they're mixed. And this here is going to show what percent is mixed together. Not initially. Once I touch it, now it's mixed according to the dial. Otherwise, it's going to go with what it had been previously set at. And I am adjusting it to be mostly piano. As you can see, the louder one takes over anyways, unless I mostly turn it off. Okay, but I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. So on this little spinny dial is all of the created songs, like the recipes, if you want to put it, for all the sounds. And all of them are pretty much stock, except for a few at the beginning that some of us created. 1.1, 1.2. But a lot of these other ones were created by the company until you get up to 5. Just after 5, and you start to find the ones that we created for worship sounds. So that's a little bit more complex of a one. Let's start with grand strings. So it's got a grand upright, as you can read there, and A1 the prophet, which is a loud strings. That's actually kind of more of a synth. I don't know why they called that grand strings. That's misnamed. Let's go to a different one. Okay, Forever has strings. Wow, those are really low. Oh, there's a keyboard split on. Okay. So if I wanted to change the balance there of that sound, I'm going to use this dial again and get it mostly, just always start with mostly piano. That's the safe side, then your synth isn't going to take over. I probably am going to take the sound off before I try to change this, or you get these really embarrassing foomp sounds. So like that happens when, let me see if I'll show you. Okay. So let's say I just arrived here at the sound and I want to start playing it. And I think I wanted to change it to less synth. Did you see how that suddenly increased? because when I touched this, because it had been preset to something else. So it's a scary thing. Keep the sound off while you change it, or take your volume and turn it way down. Make your adjustment way over here to save mostly piano sound. And then bring your volume back up. And now we're safe. We can add in that loud noise gradually. And so most of the time you're not going to want much synth on this dial. Synth is really, really loud, and mostly you're here to provide a keyboard sound. There are synths in the tracks, in the pad, so they're not predominant. You don't need a lot of them. Your lead parts are a piano, and they're going to get really muddy if you use too much synth. So anyway, back to how the keyboard is created. Their stock sounds are here. I started creating them, naming them mostly song names because I was creating them with songs in mind. Unfortunately, it's better to name them sounds because you're going to apply them to songs, which I'll show you in a minute. So some of them are kind of sound like a description of what they sound like, and some of them have names of songs. My apologies for how confusing that is. Just try them out, see what they have. They go, like I say, mostly from 5 upward for what we're usually using in church. So, and there's some repeats there too. And there's plenty of space to make more sounds if you were to want to go online and figure out how to do that, or I could show you. Anyway, so on a Sunday morning, I think we'll go to set list, and I'm going to make a second video for that. So I'm going to sign off for a second so you can start there.